Hello, everybody, guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Canary Net FM. Today we're going to try and squeeze two games in for you. The first one of those is going to be a Premier League match, and that's going to be at home against Villa. And then we're going to try and do Bournemouth away as well, depending on time and editing, etc. So please like and subscribe. I have noticed that about 0.2% of my viewers are subscribed to the channel. So please do subscribe if you can. Doesn't cost you anything, of course. But let's see how things go in today's game. This is part 7, I believe. Gonna try a different formation or a tweak to one of my formations. Not necessarily during this video, but certainly going to do that exactly when I can. Probably in the next video, to be honest. Once I've had a look at it and sort of like seeing what the stats are, etc., etc. This was recommended or talked about by Zealand on his channel. But having said that, that was just after FM26 came out, so around about November time. So things might have changed. There might be better tactics out there. To be honest with you, I don't usually depend on other people's tactics. Another thing that I don't do is that I never really ever concentrate at all on the opponents unless it's going to be a game against the top team, of course. So, generally what I'll do is I'll make sure that they have to worry about me and my formation and my team more than we have to worry about them. So let's just have a quick look and see what's going on with Valdmarson here. Now, he is going to be one of the players that I try and get rid of during the summer. I've got a good third choice keeper, Adair, who's out on loan at the moment, and I've just signed a young Brazilian keeper as well. But Valdmarson will be going at the end of this season, possibly in this transfer window, to be honest with you. And then we could see how we go from there, really. Certainly, like I said, with two younger keepers. He has been my backup keeper generally in sort of like playing some games in the Europa League and also the old Cup game. But having said that, I do really need to get rid of him just so I can fit in the two younger keepers amongst the schedule. So just looking at the squad, there we go, the three goalkeepers that we do have. There we go. So Julian Einstein, my third choice, he's an American keeper, and I would rather play him. You can see his potential is now 4 stars. Bob Marson has dropped down. Never really had that great potential, to be honest with you. And Keller has always been my number one keeper. At the moment, this is the current 11. We have got a couple out injured, so we will have to change the squad for this match coming up next. And we'll see how things go from there. However, Villa are going to be a tough go, to be honest with you. Let's have a look, see where they are in the league at the moment. Surprisingly, Villa sit 11th in the table, and they play the game less than us, so it's really a must-win for us to certainly creep back into maybe the top 7 or 8. That's for sure. But we'll see how things go from there anyway. Right, so let's get on to it. 2 days away, as I mentioned, Aston Villa, and that's at home. And then, as also mentioned, the game after that is going to be Bournemouth away. That's going to be a tough one. If Dango Ouattara is fit, then I think it's quite possible that I will play him against his old club. And hopefully he'll score. Usually when you play FM26, you'll find out 9 times out of 10 that a player will play against his old club and score. Now, that's one of those little quirks that there are in the system, to be honest with you. So it's just one of those things that whereby I always find that when I play against someone I've sold, 9 times out of 10, they'll score against me. Or they'll play a blinder and at least get a couple of assists. But yeah, let's see how we actually get on against Villa here, being at home. I would like to think that we would do all right. As you can see, our last two home matches against, okay, FC Sheriff in the Conference League, fair enough, and Chile, no idea how you pronounce that. At home as also, but plenty of goals and 2 wins. Last home game in the Premier League. Even though we lost to West Ham, but prior to that, we did beat Palace 3-1. The West Ham one was a bit of a downer, actually. When you look at the stats here, we had 13 shots to their 8. We had 51% possession. Okay, our XG was also slightly better, but they had more shots on target. Absolutely crazy. 3 shots on target, they scored once. We had 13 shots and we didn't score at all, which, to be honest with you, is just my luck when it comes to Football Manager. I've actually been playing this game since it started at the onset, the Championship Manager in 1993. Um, I've never ever really had sort of like one of those sort of like, or two or three or four or five of those seasons whereby I win everything in sight, like a lot of players do who have been doing it for years. But then, having said that, I still enjoy, even if I finish mid-table, I still actually enjoy doing it. To be honest with you, I'm never going to change. It has taken me quite a while to get used to FM26, mainly because of all the bugs. And I went back to FN24. In fact, you can see in my videos on my channel that sometimes I'll just go back to FN24, chuck a couple of games in on that. At the moment, my save on FN24 is Man United, which incidentally also FM26 console on the PS5 is also Manchester United. But that's just a quirk, really. Right, let's have a look at the squad. Obviously, we lost the last game. If you can see on there, we lost the last game against Arsenal 3-0. I would suppose that would be the case, really, bearing in mind that Arsenal are sort of like top or around the top of the league. Unfortunately, I've got quite a few injuries at the moment, which doesn't help me whatsoever. I'm going to have to stick Thiago in. I was thinking of selling him, but sometimes he can perform, and then other times he can't. He's a bit hit and miss in the game. I mean, obviously, this season in the Premier League, he's been on fire. But having said that, I'm going to give him a chance. I'll stick him up there as a poacher. Slightly less, slightly less better than Otto Stange, who's my normal current striker. But then basically, I've got a very good defensive midfielder in Salzburger, and also as well Seevold, who I bought when I first started this journey as Brentford. Seevold for ages was my number one. You can see stats are absolutely incredible. Also, you look at Salzburger, the stats slightly less in some regions. However, he is improving. The arrows all show down, but he's been my mainstay this season. I never usually sign players over the age of 23, but De Bruyne from Napoli was 4.5 million, and I thought I'd nab him up. So he's a mainstay. Zaire Emery, very surprised that I got him from PSG. Wanted to come to the club. Yeah, one of the highest paid players, but then what do you expect? One of the best midfielders, I would say, certainly in the world. And possibly at the moment, for me, then he is one of my best players also. I think I'm going to stick Nunes, swap him about, and put Librani up there. Libari has been a good buy for me. He's playing with a cast at the moment, hence he's in red. Right, let's go to the match. Let's just have a quick look at Villa, see if I will do anything, trigger press anyone. I think I might go in hard on Harvey Elliott and show him onto his weaker foot, albeit generally he's a two-footed player. And Kamara's quite a tough guy. And Gisa. tackling hard on him, trigger press him always. I think he's partial to the odd mistake. Show him onto the weaker foot. Let's go to the match, guys, and see how we get on. See how things go here. Hopefully, we can score early. But if we don't, then we might have to switch things around a bit. But hey, 9 times out of 10, also, I send my assistant to press conferences. Now, look at that lineup. Lewis Potter at the moment, because Ansu Fati's injured. I'm just having to sort of like kind of tweak around with the attacking left midfielders, the inverted wingers or wide midfielders, wingers. But yeah, let's see how things go from here. Obviously, with a kick off, we've got to shout, encourage as always. So the first real highlight of the game, Kevin De Bruyne obviously getting into those positions in the centre of the box as he does, and a good save from Martinez. So half time, 0-0. Obviously happy with the way things have gone so far, although we haven't put the ball in the net. It's pretty evenly balanced, but we're holding our own at the moment. So just going to make a change at half time here. Take Otto Stange off and put Dumbia up front. He's a centre forward, sorry, that I got from Manchester United for virtually nothing. Cost me very, very little at all, and will hopefully progress into being sort of like a 4 or 5 star player. And now it's Villa's turn to have an attack. A good build-up play as well. Slow, trying to probe us. Effort from Harvey Elliott, but a fantastic block, virtually on the line to deny him from letting Villa taking the lead. So we're still holding our own, but we really need to score. So obviously, folks, everybody, generally even managers in real life, of course, come to about 60, 65 minutes, time to make a change. So I'm just swapping my wingers around and trying to get their edge. Unfortunately, as you can see from the end of the game, a 0-0 draw. Having said that, though, I know Villa are sort of like below us in the table, but they should be higher than, I don't know, around about the same place as what we are at the moment. But yeah, 0-0 draw. So we've had a little bit of a lapse in the Premier League. We're doing all right in Europe, of course. Obviously, the teams that we played in Europe are not as competent as what we are, but we're just hoping to get out of this slump. Something's got to change. And here we go, transfer market time. Obviously, it's coming up to the 1st of January when the transfer window opens. So, Guilherme Gallas, our new attacking mid from Atletico Madrid, joining when the transfer window does open, and a potential 4.5 stars. However, that's if he stays injury free. Transfer funds were really low after splashing out during the summer, so I'm having to split with instalments. But I got the deal done. And onwards we go. So Bournemouth next. Now Bournemouth being 18th in the table, but they could creep to within 2 points of us if they beat us. So that'll drag us deeper down. We're not having the sort of season I expected. I expected us to be top 10ish or thereabouts again. Admittedly, I am tweaking around with a tactic just to find one that will give us a few consistent results. But this is really a crucial, crucial game. We don't really want to drop into the bottom half of the table and end up having to fight for relegation once we get past the Christmas and New Year period. So players needing a rest this time round include KDB, so I moved him to the bench. And apart from Karabashvili, the one of the kid left backs still being injured, the back four onwards are unchanged. Good dynamics between Diamonde and Vuskovic. And Michael Coyote at right back is one of the best right backs in the league, and his long throw comes in handy. So we'll see how things pan out on this one. So first highlight of this game, Malumbo into Zaire Emery, just on the edge, inside the box. Good shot and a good save from Petrovic. Now it's Bournemouth's turn to attack. Nice methodical build up from the back. And this one comes through in the end to Ben Warren Doak, who just brushes past the post across the goal from the right hand side of the box, just ends up brushing past the left hand post. So close. But at the moment, still 0-0. So here, Kelleher kicks it long. God knows why, because I'd obviously pulled a short kicks or short distribution to the centre backs. We lose it in the midfield here, and it ends up with Rennie Adley having a shot that's very, very close and just over the bar. Okay, folks, so here, with it gone past the 60-minute mark, I made a tactical change. What I did was is I dropped the stone to mid block so we didn't invite so much pressure onto us, didn't push so much from the front, dropped the defence a bit as well. And you can see from this free kick, Kevin De Bruyne with a good free kick there, and Badia Loco with a header that once again just goes over the bar. So a quick bit of action here. Loco with a free kick down the right-hand touchline. Once again, we lose it initially just outside their box, but then grab it back from Zaire Emery into King Lewis Potter. Lewis Potter must score, but no, he doesn't. Here we go into the 91st minute. I did actually fear the worst here. You can see the build up is nice again through midfield, getting to the edge of the box. Evan Nielsen onto Norton Cuffy. Eventually, it comes through on the left hand side, just on the edge of the post, to Luis Sinistera, who shoots and scores, or they think they do, but the VAR check ruled him offside. I was sweating on that one, I can tell you. So there we go. After that scare right at the end of the game, the match comes to a close. And once again, we end up with a 0-0 draw. A little bit of a mid-season slump is ongoing. Follow me for the next part, which will obviously be part 8 then. We'll see how we get on for the rest of our European campaign and see if we can sneak back into auto promotion places. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and enjoy. Thank you.